Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Brothers in Blue 5th Annual Journey of Hope fundraiser event and our first try at this virtual thing. I'll be your host tonight, and my name is Dale Henderson, and I can only imagine what everybody's thinking right now. Where's his mask, right? Okay, I'm telling you right now, I'm properly social distancing because there's nobody else here. You're all out there. So welcome. Tonight, I just want to welcome everybody into an event that I believe is going to touch many people. Brothers in Blue is an organization that goes inside of prisons, helps men and women get ready to reenter society, okay? A lot of us who've been incarcerated before, we have problems, we have issues that we're working through, and this is one of the programs that helps men like myself get ready to become a productive member of society. I personally feel indebted to this program. It helped me get ready for my job that I now work at. It helped me get ready to work on the relationships that I now have with my children, and hopefully tonight, it'll help open your eyes to the fact that we need more people to be involved, to know about who we are, and to just support us in ways that you probably never really knew that you could support us. You're going to see videos tonight. You're going to hear music. We're going to have an auction of some really cool items. But what I really want you to focus on tonight is that we found a way to bring everybody together. Even in these trying times, even in these times where people may feel unsure, we're finding a way to connect with each other. Zoom, one of the best creations that I feel is out right now. I've been able to connect with family members that are in Texas, in Nebraska, wherever they're at, and it makes me feel closer to them, and I really appreciate the fact that all you guys are now at home, Zooming in with Brothers in Blue tonight. So, first off, I would just like to talk to you about a guy who's going to be our first speaker. His name is Danny Creed. Danny Creed is a best-selling author. He's a life coach, business coach. He speaks life into men and women, and I think he's going to do the same thing to you tonight. He has a book that's called Life Best Lived. And to me, what that says is that this man is going to be the person that's going to help me discover how to live my best life. So when he speaks to you tonight, I just hope that you'll listen to his words, hear his passion, and his dedication to being a part of something like Brothers in Blue. This is going to be very, I don't want to say difficult, but I need you to bear with us tonight. There may be some glitches. You guys know how Zoom works, and there may be some stalls, but guess what? We're all here together tonight. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Danny Creed. Enjoy.
Good evening, everyone. Wherever you are, I want to personally thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. Know that you will be an extraordinary and essential part in the Brothers in Blue Ripple of Hope fundraising gala. My name is Danny Creed. I'm speaking to you tonight from my office in my home in Phoenix, Arizona, where it's still quite hot. I was, however, born on a wheat farm in south central Kansas, where my family still resides. I'm just so very honored and proud to be a part of this event tonight. I had the privilege to attend last year's event and found it quite remarkable. But this year, I believe that this is the start of something quite extraordinary, something very special. We're here tonight to preserve, protect, and grow the Brothers in Blue reentry program. BIBR is the most successful program of its kind in the United States. I want to be sure you understand what that means, and it's very much worth repeating. The national recidivism rate is nearly 75%. Now, you're going to hear that again and again tonight, but it's really important to understand. That means that almost 3 out of every 4 men and women that leave America's prison system will return to incarceration. Think about the cost in dollars and cents that represents. More importantly, think about the human or emotional damage, the heartache, the despair among the despair among the inmates as well as their families. It's just sad and it's unconscionable. It shouldn't happen. But the reality is that the traditional system doesn't do a very good job of preparing incarcerated men and women to re-enter the outside world and survive, let alone thrive. But that's why we're here, isn't it? The Brothers in Blue reentry program maintains a 13% recidivism rate, and we're trying to get better at that even. 13%, wow! That is the best that I know of, most successful result of any program of its kind in the US. And yet, little if any funding is available to maintain this incredible program. That's just crazy. But that's why we're here again. Look, these men and women of BIBR are doing something right here. This program continues to improve. The BIBR team is mastering the recipe for re-entry success. Over time, I believe that they've perfected this recipe, adding the exact ingredients to make it unique. The BIBR programs have been tested and they've been put in place. I love the fact that BIBR is a faith-based program that tells its members the truth. They say it like it is. They make their members believe that events in their past should not dictate their future potential. And the program gives them the tools and the support that they need to make the future a reality and gives them hope where none may have previously existed. This program works, and we need to get them the funds to grow it. And again, that's why we're here. A few years ago, I was privileged, and I truly mean this, I was privileged to be a part of a small group of people that were invited to hear F.W. de Klerk speak here in Phoenix. He was the former president of South Africa, the co-winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, and one of the architects of the agreement to end apartheid in South Africa. President de Klerk said something during his address to our small group that made a very powerful impression on me. He told the story of the challenges that he and Nelson Mandela had in bringing all the factions together. There were years of fighting and bloodshed, ethnic cleansing, territorial feuds, battles, negative perceptions, wars among over 100 different tribes with 100 different languages. The task at times seemed impossible to solve. It was impossible to solve until they began to work from a single thought. And that thought, he said, was, once we understood that it is far easier to reach agreement on the future than on the past, then we could move forward with success. Let me say that again. Once we understood that it was far easier to reach agreement on the future than on the past, then we could move forward to success. And that's the same kind of attitude I want you to think about BIBR. This statement truly applies to the primary tenet of BIBR. Forgiveness of the past and the potential of the future is the glue that makes this program work. BIBR gives its members and alumni hope that they can move forward to the future as a contributor with the skills to cope and thrive rather than just survive. In my role as a business coach, I work with entrepreneurs and executives and large corporations and small companies and business startups. I work with clients all over the globe. I've logged over 15,000 hours of coaching and consulting and advising people on their personal and business development. In my lifetime of experience, one thing has become very apparent to me. Individuals succeed or fail based on their mindset. It's big. One of the most excellent books ever written on personal and professional development is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. For those of you who haven't read it, it was written in 1928, and really it stands as the cornerstone and the foundation of successful mindset development. And really, it's as relevant today as it was back then when it was published. The astounding thing about this book is that I can tell you exactly what it's about, and it's a big book, I can tell you exactly what it's about in one distinct and very concise sentence. The essence of this incredible book is this: what you think about most of the time, you become. What you think about most of the time, you become. In other words, if you think negatively and you speak negatively and you live with a survival attitude, then you will be a negative or unhappy person. I've asked people, say, how you doing? And they go, well, I'm getting by. If you think positive thoughts, if you feel and live with a possibility mindset, then the world tends to be much, much different. There are people all around us that we all know that just barely survive. They live day to day. They're just getting by with no expectations of the future, no hope or possibilities on the horizon. In turn, we know people that no matter their circumstances or their situation, they always seem to see the potential and possibilities in the day. They believe that there can still be hope. They think that they have the power to change their situation in one way or another. And you know what? They do. Giving hope to those without any is what BIBR does for the men and women in this extraordinary program. It starts with faith. It begins with understanding that whatever they did in life in the past, it didn't work, and that they must have faith in a higher power. Faith is God to start a journey of change. This foundation of faith, coupled with the trust and hope that BIBR provides, gives members and alumni a permanent base of mindset and really tools that they can use a lifetime. They can use these tools to thrive for a lifetime, and it gives them a foundation for a new future. 3 years ago, I had no idea that BIBR existed. I had written a book. It was called A Life Best Lived, a story of life, death, and second chances. Its key message is that everyone gets a second chance. Most people, think about it, most people sit around, they complain and whine, and they wait on someone to give them a second chance. But the fact is that we all possess the ability to provide ourselves with that second chance, with a third chance, with a fourth chance, and more. In some miraculous way, my book found its way into the Lansing Facility Library and into the hands of 3 BIBR members. I was surprised one day to receive a letter from the Lansing facility. And my wife said, what have you been up to now? But I received a letter from these 3 men who thanked me for writing the book and described in the letter how the book had affected them. I wrote them back. I thanked them for their kind and encouraging words. After a few more letters back and forth, I found out who I would contact, and I contacted CJ Hughes. He told me more about the program. I looked at the website. I watched the videos. I offered to come and speak to the BIBR men about my book. I actually had a full-day workshop developed, and I offered to present it to the group. CJ accepted the offer, which began one of the most incredible series of events that I could ever have imagined. I spent the day at the minimum security Lansing facility. We had 50 or so BIBR members in attendance. Now understand that I've had the privilege to speak and perform in front of groups of thousands of people in arenas and auditoriums, and this BIBR group was the best audience. And I really mean this. They were the best audience I ever had. This event was one of the first presentations that I've ever done where I came away from it more energized and with more hope than when I began. I was with the men from about 8:30 in the morning to about 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon. I can tell you that every one of them took notes and they listened from beginning to end. Now, when I close a session, I always try to end my presentation with something special. I'm a musician, so I do this when I'm not coaching or speaking. I play harmonica. It's taken me all over the world. I love blues music. I always finish the day in these events many times by playing a solo version of the old gospel standard, Amazing Grace, and it just seemed appropriate for this event. I always play with my eyes closed. I began by playing the first verse for the men and singing the second verse. When I started the second verse, I heard something. I went, what is that? And I opened my eyes and I found all the men singing softly the song. They just singing along with me. That had never happened before. I began playing the next verse with my eyes closed again. And again, I heard something and I opened my eyes, and what I had heard was the chairs moving a little bit and the entire room was standing and singing. And I still get goosebumps when I tell this story. Some of these men were holding their neighbors' hands while others had their hands on their neighbors' shoulders. Nonetheless, for a guy that's seldom without words, I was at that moment. It still remains one of the most emotional and meaningful moments that I've ever had in all my years on earth. In fact, if we can, I'm going to show you a picture of the group that day. There are more guys that didn't get in the picture, but you get the idea. I was so proud of that moment. Since then, I've returned to speak at BIBR Men and Minimum Security again. I also had the privilege to spend the day with the BIBR Men and Maximum. Once again, I received unexpected blessings. Here are men who should have no hope. These are men who have been incarcerated much of their life, and yet they're in the BIBR program because it gives them confidence and an expectation that they've not had in a very, very long time. For a year and a half, I've dedicated time to work with 2 BIBR alumni as their business and success coaches. It's been incredibly gratifying. I hope as much for them as it has been for me. I'm very honored to coach one of the BIBR men in Maximum Security. Now, here's how that's happened. We've been talking for a year now, a little over a year. We speak on the telephone every other week for as long as they let us, usually less than an hour, but 1 hour it is. We talk about personal growth, and we talk about potential, and we talk about how he can still make a difference. And you know what? He is. He recently told me, and this is, again, very emotional for me, because he said, I don't serve time anymore. I make time serve me. He's doing great. He's part of the BIBR program. He does everything he can for that program. I asked men in Maximum Security, by the way, that if I ever came back, if I was invited back to speak to them again, what would be a topic that I could do a workshop on that could benefit all of them? You know what they said? This will blow you away. The topic they requested was goal setting. That's right, goal setting. BIBR has given them a reason to dream. They have aspirations to improve their lives and the lives of those around them. I was so impressed. I just, you know, I could talk all day, but my time is up, and I want to leave you with this one challenge. The theme of this evening is Brothers in Blue Reentry Ripple of Hope. That name's nice, but it's not big enough. It's not big enough. This program, these men and women do not need a ripple. I say we make it a tsunami. I want a flood. I want a flood of support of biblical proportions. I don't want to be a ripple. I want this to be a tidal wave of support for a program that deserves it. Look, thank you all for being here tonight. I know we're in strange times, but I appreciate the time that you've spent tonight with us. And I thank you forever and ever for the honor of speaking to you. I will continue to be committed to the mission of Brothers in Blue Reentry. And I want to help. I commit to helping wherever and whenever I can. I invite you right now to create this tsunami, this tidal wave of support. Open up your wallets and help BIBR change the future. And you can. God bless you all. Thank you.
Wow. That was a truly phenomenal message. And I hope that everybody paid attention to what our brother Danny was speaking about tonight. Danny touched on our theme, And our theme for this journey of hope this year is Ripples of Hope. And he spoke about not just ripples. Man, it blew my mind when he got to the place where he started talking about, let's create a tsunami. Wow. Like, you think about waves, you think about the wind, and you think about the water and all that mixed into each other. And to create a full blown out tsunami to support this organization. I just want to thank you, Danny, for even opening my mind to that concept. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick 5-minute intermission. This is going to be your opportunity to go get some snacks, get you something to drink, take a bathroom break, because I promise you, you're not going to want to miss this next part. We got an auction tonight that you're not going to want to miss. And what I mean by that is we have some collector's items that I know some of you Chiefs fans are going to want. We have some sports memorabilia that I know that if I had the money that I would try to win it, but my wife has me on a budget, so I can't necessarily do that right now. But also, we have members' artwork. Guys work really hard on this stuff to present it to people who will really appreciate it. And I know that some of you guys will appreciate that tonight. So come back, because we're not done. Get comfortable when you come back, because you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be really enjoyable. And we truly appreciate your time tonight.
I feel loved, I feel safe, I feel Jesus in this place. I feel a warmth within me, I can't describe it, but I believe. I feel peace, I feel light, I see my stains turn pure white. I feel a burden lift from me as I raise my hands up and I sing. I feel safe, I feel Jesus in this place. I feel a warmth within me. I can't describe it, no, 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 no. But I believe, yeah. We sing glory. Glory
All right, welcome back, everybody. Please tell me you're back, sitting in front of your computers. Hope you got your snacks and different things like that. Tonight, our platform is Zoom. We're using this to connect. We're using this to feel and be close to each other. So you might have a couple glitches in your computer tonight. If that's happened, don't worry about it. Grab your drink of choice while the computer catches up and processes the way it should. So Zoom is one of those things that we know that we use in the comfort of our home. And I decided to get comfortable on this next part of the segment. And my sweats are fairly comfortable. Please don't judge me, because I guarantee you that some of you out there right now are probably sitting in your underwear and skivvies. So listen, stay comfortable. It's fine. Tonight, all we're doing is just connecting with one another. Listen, really quick before we move on, I just want to invite people who feel like they might not be able to stay to the end of the auction to go to our Fund a Need page. The link is sent in the email that you received earlier. So feel free to go there and just take a look at what we have going on and with funding the need for our organization. So this next part that we're going into, it's called Ripples of Hope. Now, I mentioned to you earlier that the theme for tonight is Ripples of Hope. But really quick, I'd just like to tell you what that means to me. So we all know what it's like to stand on the edge of a beach or at the lake and pick up a pebble and throw it into the water and watch the first ripple happen. But what happens when that happens? You see that slowly these ripples get much, much wider, vast. They keep going sometimes. And what I'd like to point out tonight is that I want you to know that the decisions that you make concerning somebody else's life not only affects them, but it affects other people. Me personally, I know that the decision that I made to join the Brothers in Blue program years ago, when I was still caught up in a lot of the things that I used to do before, that one decision has directly affected my entire family. What I mean by that is that my youngest daughter was 3 years old when I left. She's now 23 with 2 kids. And I can guarantee you that the person that I used to be before, she didn't want to have anything to do with. Now, Brothers in Blue, they focused on parenting. They focused on making good decisions. They focused on raising men and now women. So it gave me an opportunity to become the type of man that my daughter wanted to have in her children's lives. And I really appreciate that. That's one of the ripples. So what I want you to do tonight is just think about how you can become a part of the ripple of hope for the hopeless. This video is not too long, so just kick back and enjoy it. But understand that you can become a part of that tsunami that Danny Creed was talking about a little earlier tonight. Okay? So enjoy this video.
Hello, my name is Jason Miles. I'm the welding manager at Zephyr Products. I'm formerly incarcerated, been out for about 24 years now. Zephyr Products is a metal manufacturing plant based in Leavenworth, Kansas, and we hire inmates from the Lansing Correctional Facility minimum unit. We teach these guys how to weld, how to grind, how to bend parts, how to laser parts, how to work in a shipping department. I'm also responsible for the hiring along with the fabrication manager. And a while back, I was doing the hiring and I noticed that these guys would come down for interviews and they would put Brothers in Blue on the application as a program that they were involved in or had completed. And I started to notice that these guys kind of seemed like they had their stuff together a little more so than some of our other guys that we would normally interview. So I started asking questions, about Brothers in Blue, the program, and a staff member from Brothers in Blue came down to Zephyr and gave us a a presentation on the program, on the type of things they were doing. And I really felt like it was a great fit between Brothers in Blue, what they were teaching the guys, and then kind of what Zephyr was wanting from employees. And I just thought it was a really good fit of good transition from where they were coming from. So I want to take a talk to you about one of those employees, and his name was Will. And he started off working for us as an inmate for a couple years in our shipping department. And then he paroled out and was out about a year. And we were looking to beef up our welding department with some civilians. And so Will's name came up, and we hired Will on. And Will's been a great addition to us. He's there on time every day. He knows what he's doing. Not scared of the more difficult jobs, and he's just been a really great addition to Zephyr. Hey, Will, how you doing?
Jason Miles, good to see you, bud.
I was just talking about you.
Yeah, you're too kind.
All the great work you're doing down there. Really appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity to come back and work for Zephyr, provide for my family. Super grateful to you and Randy and Zephyr, and man, I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Hey, I'm going to take off, man.
All right, take care. Yeah, always good to see you. So as Jason said, my name's Will Stevens. I joined Brothers in Blue back in 2014, graduated the program, and went and worked for Zephyr. Worked there for about 3 years, and now I'm currently employed as a welder. But I wanted to share just a couple minutes of my experience with Brothers in Blue. So when I joined Brothers in Blue back in 2014, I was doing 10 years for selling drugs, came to prison, and for my first 4 years, continued in the same patterns that got me to prison. I was moving drugs on the compound, I was using drugs, and basically I was completely broken and completely lost. From a spiritual standpoint, I was spiritually dead. I joined Brothers in Blue, and in Brothers in Blue, I was introduced to Jesus. And it was in Brothers in Blue that I came into a true saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. And I got to tell you, my life has not been the same since. That's been 5 years ago. I was baptized in Brothers in Blue. During my 5 years in Brothers in Blue, I was discipled. And that's really where I came to know Jesus. And I literally went from being dead to alive, from being lost to found. During Brothers in Blue is when I met a man named Matt Thomas. And Matt Thomas was our Brothers in Blue program manager at the time. And Matt saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So Matt began to disciple me and grow me up and into leadership. And 3 years ago, we planted a church inside a Lansing Correctional Facility with the help of Brothers in Blue, World Impact, and Christ the Victor Church Movement. We planted the church inside the prison, and for 3 years, served as the internal pastor of Christ the Victor. Was released a year ago. Last winter, we planted a Christ the Victor church in Lenexa, Kansas, where I currently serve with Pastor Matt Thomas as his associate pastor. What's up, Matt?
Hey, what's up, Will? What are you doing, bro? How are you?
I'm doing great. I was just talking about you.
What? I hope it was all bad.
Well, hey, since you're on here, it's a good opportunity to tell you how grateful I am to you for seeing that something in myself that I didn't see, and for growing me up in the leadership and taking a chance on me and discipling me. I just want to tell you thank you. Special thank you to Brothers in Blue. Always good to see you, bro.
Brother, you got to understand, man, it's my pleasure. I love seeing the man that you've become, and I love seeing that the program that you dug into has benefited you in so many ways, man. And I love getting to serve next to you, brother. Thank you.
Amen. Hey, man, I'm going to get out of here. You take care.
Hey, man. See you, Will. Love you, brother. So, my name is Matt Thomas. I am the Executive Director of Firm Foundations Ministries. We are a housing program. And like Will said, I am also the lead pastor planter of Christ the Victor Freedom Initiative Church. I actually had the pleasure of working at Brothers in Blue, and I did prison time out in Arizona, and they don't have programming like that. You go to prison, you do 85% of your time, you get out, and you have learned nothing except how to commit crimes a little bit better. But God did something different with me, and we managed to plant a church while we were inside. And so when I got to come work with Brothers in Blue, it was so refreshing. Like, we would get these guys to these houses, and you couldn't help but notice the leadership and the preparation and the just the way that things moved, man. These guys who had a relapse prevention plan, they had a leadership development plan, they had a budget, they were ready for success upon reentry, which was nothing that I got the opportunity to be part of inside a prison. And I can't help but think, and even though God has blessed my life richly, how much farther along I would be in life if I would have had the opportunity to take Brothers in Blue when I was inside prison. And it's kind of crazy, right? Like, I've got to spend just under 4 years working at Brothers in Blue and walking with these men. And I mean, like we walked with these men through tears, through happiness, through crazy transition because of the state of the prison and the moving and the building, and these men stayed consistent and strong, and they were the leaders, natural leaders in the prison. And I've had the glorious pleasure to be able to walk alongside quite a few of these men, and I'd like to tell you about a couple. Right, there's Will, there's a couple other of our leaders. But then there's a guy named Joseph Grosteffen, and Joe Grosteffen was just leaps and bounds above a lot of people when it came to his integrity and his desire to do something powerful in life and to seek God. And so it was really interesting how he was in Oswego, right, which is like the other camp of El Dorado, and this cat would send letter after letter after letter after letter after letter talking about, I want to get in the program, talking to chaplain, talking to the right person, talking to unit teams, just trying the best he can to get up and go and to get involved in this, right? And the beautiful thing about it is you get people from all walks of life and all types of reasons wanting to come to the program. And his was purely, I want to do better in life. I want to leave the life I lived, and I want to pursue Christ. And so when he showed up, his integrity was on point. I mean, you want to talk about a stand-up guy? I remember there were times that he worked through things that were just honest, transparent things. It wasn't tarnished with something else to cover up. I mean, he was just brutally, authentically transparent. This is the guy that I was telling you about.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, what you doing, man?
Nothing. Living for Christ.
Man, that's crazy that you just pop in like that. Man, well, I got to tell you, bro, I really, it's funny, man. And this coming through prison, we see people from all walks of life and from all backgrounds, and some just really struggle letting go of that old lifestyle. And I really want to commend you in the fact that you decided to step past what you used to do and who you used to be to grasp at something that was bigger than yourself. And so what I love about that, right, is it wasn't a selfish walk to where you just kind of put your blinders up and just decided to do your thing. You pulled people with you, and even people that didn't want to be pulled with you, you pulled with you. And so I just want to say thank you, bro.
Well, thank you. I love being part of this program. And that walk is, it's a tough walk to walk, and once you get that light, you get that feeling of Jesus and you got that in your heart, you want to take everybody with you. I know that there's not a person that I don't want to tell Jesus about. That's for sure. So Amen. I thank you very much.
Hey man. Well, I got to get off here. I appreciate seeing you, brother. Knock it out the park, my guy.
Thank you. Oh, hello guys. My name is Joseph Ray Grosteffen. I am an inmate at Lansing Correctional Facility. I am Group 58 alumni, and I just want to take a minute here to talk to you about my quest for Christ, or maybe yet better yet, Jesus's quest for me. You know, I'm going to start this story when I was in Oswego. I was in Oswego Correctional Facility, and I'd already done a few years, and I was sad and I was hopeless, and I just needed something more in my life, and I kept trying the wrong things and doing the wrong things. And one day a man approached me. He says, "Hey, look, you know," he says, "I've been watching you," and he says, "I see that you're at the end of your rope, and you know what? You can't lie with somebody when you're at the end of your rope." I said, "You know, yes, I am." He said, "Well, I got a little solution for you." He says, "Why don't you come to church with me?" And I'd never gone to church, and I've never did the church thing, but you know, I figured, why not? I got to give this a try. I got to do something. So we go to church, and we're around these people that are just so loving and so caring, and they're coming into the prison, and they're sharing their stories with me, and they're sharing their lives, and I just wanted to be a part of it. I didn't understand it. I didn't even know if I believed in it, but I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to have what these people have, this glow. So we just kept going to prison, and this man became a mentor to me. His name's Perry Johnson. He's a great man. He's like a father figure to me. And he would just keep going. Anytime well, you know, maybe next week I'll go. No, he says, "You're coming to church this week. That's what we do." And before I knew it, I was going to church and I was reading the Bible, and I'm starting to really believe in what these people are telling me. They never change. They're always steadfast and doing the same thing. Well, we heard about this program called Brothers in Blue, and it's a faith-based program out of Lansing Correctional Facility. And we said, this is for us. So we enrolled. This would be the first time I spoke with David Johnson. And he says, "You know, look, you're looking to change your life. You're looking to do better things." And we said, "Yes." He said, "Well, okay, you guys are going to be on the next bus up, the next class." So we're excited. We're very excited. Well, the time comes, they load my friend Perry up, and they say, "Joe, you're not going nowhere." I said, "What do you mean? We're both accepted to this class. We're both going." He says, "Well," he says, "Perry's going, but you're not." And I almost felt that sad and loneliness and hopelessness come back. But I remember what Perry taught me. He said, "You stay with Christ no matter what, and you're going to be okay." So that's what I did. I continued to go to church. I continued to stay in my Bible. And I thought, well, you know what? God must have a different calling for me. BIB, maybe it just ain't my thing. So about 2 years after Perry had left, I'm sitting at the lunch table, and an officer come up to me and says, "Mr. Gross-Stephan," he says, "I need you to pack your stuff." I said, "Pack my stuff? My release date ain't for another 5 years." He said, "You're going to Lansing Correctional Facility. You are enrolled in BIB, the Brothers in Blue program." And this joy, it came over me because I knew that God hadn't forgot about me. He hadn't left me behind like I'd been left behind so many times. So I get to Lansing Correctional Facility, and I become part of Group 58. I meet a lot of great people. I start working at a little place called Castle. It's a BIB brand restaurant, per se, at the prison, and I become manager of Castle, and I graduate BIB. But during the graduating of the BIB, I learned so many things about myself that helped me change into this man I want to be. I am now a teacher. I'm a counselor. I am a mentor. I'm in the praise band. We write and produce music for Christ. And this is where I also got to run into one of my mentors that I really love and respect, which is David Johnson. I said the first time I talked to him was on the phone about coming to BIB. And, you know, I didn't know at this point that David had never gave up on trying to get me to BIB program. And when I got here and me and Dave sat down and we started talking about this, it was many times. He's like, "You know, you're the guy that I wouldn't give up on." He says, "I'd see your name and I would tell Rob Arnold, I need this guy here." And it just showed me the love that Christ has put into everybody around me that's in this program. And hey, there's Dave. Dave,
Hey,
how
now.
are you?
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Dave. I was just talking about you.
Oh, I hope it was good.
It's always good. It's always good, sir.
It's good to see you, Joe.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. You doing okay today? Huh?
I'm doing great, sir. Like always.
Great.
You have a good one.
That's what. All right. You take care here. As Joe said, my name's David Johnson. I'm the site coordinator here at Lansing Correctional. My journey, I guess, would have to go all the way back to Africa. My time as a missionary, I began to work with the incarcerated in Senegal, West Africa, and I worked in South Africa as well with men that were incarcerated, and it was a life changer for me. Missions had been in my life, but to spend time with men that that really didn't have a lot of hope. They had no structure in their lives. They had no way to go, and begin to hear their stories and build relationships. It was the beginning of something that God was leading me down a new path. And so then the transition from Africa back home in 2015, for a short time, we began to get reacquainted with our family. And after a while, I realized it's time to go back to work. So I began to volunteer with Westside Family Church, the work that they were doing here at Lansing, and began to build relationships, get to know some of the men during worship services and stuff. And so one day I can remember we had gotten finished with the service, and we were outside standing on the sidewalk. I was talking to one of the inmates, and the executive director at that time, he was standing 15, 20 feet from me, and he was talking to another man, and the guys walked off from us, and we were just kind of standing there staring at each other, and silence. And he looked at me and he said, "You ready to go to work?" And I said, "Yeah." And that was the beginning of working with Brothers in Blue. It was very interesting, to say the least, because it was different from what I had been exposed to, but it was a lot of the same. It began by building relationships with men, listening to their stories, realizing that so many of them had no structure in their lives. They had no hope. They longed for so much. They longed to have someone love them. They longed to have someone just listen to them and care for them. But it was so enjoyable just to watch the transformation. I could go on with story after story of men that their lives have just been completely turned upside down and changed for the better. They now have hope, and they now have focus. They have goals in their lives. They have so much, and guys that to be honest with you, when I first met them, I said, to myself, they'll probably be in and out of here the rest of their lives. And now they're being successful. They, starting in positions and moving up, getting promotions, just settled down in life and beginning a new life for themselves. And so it's just wonderful to watch this transformation take place. And then, last year, CJ, he said, well, we're going to begin a new work. And so we began to talk about going into the ladies' facility in Topeka. And that's when we met a new bright light, a new star in our life. And Maddie Ruiz came to work with us. And for the next 4 months, we began to work together. And I just mentored her in the job and what is required and what she's going to be experiencing. Oh, there, hey there. Hey,
Hi,
Mel.
David.
How are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I was just talking about you.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it was good.
Nice. What were you saying?
It was not bad. So,
Okay, good.
Yeah. And so anyway, I need to run, but so you have a good day.
All righty. You too, David.
Okay.
So like David said, my name is Maddie Ruiz, and I am the site coordinator for the women's program called LEAD, Ladies Empowered and Driven. So rewinding a little bit, I have known from a pretty young age that I have been called to work with women, and specifically women who have experienced some form of abuse or who have been marginalized in some way. And so last summer, I was offered an internship with the Kansas Department of Corrections in their Office of Victim Services. And I was ecstatic about this opportunity. It felt like this was an internship made for me. I wanted to help victims, especially female victims, more than anything. And I remember the first day of my internship, I was asked, is there any population or group of people that you don't feel comfortable working with? And I said, I feel comfortable working with all kinds of people. I would prefer, though, not to work with men who have committed crimes. I just don't feel very comfortable with that group of people. And so naturally, I worked with men who have committed crimes the entirety of my internship. And I can honestly say it was the biggest blessing and eye-opening experience of my life so far. So on my first week of my internship until my last week, I was in Lansing Correctional Facility, and I shadowed a few different people and different operational things within Lansing, the men's facility. So a couple weeks into my internship, I met Carl Hughes, the executive director of Brothers in Blue, and literally by only the grace of God, I was offered a position on staff as the site coordinator for the women's program. So I was offered that position at the end of my internship with the Department of Corrections, and I accepted very easily. So I spent a few months of my new job as a site coordinator shadowing BIB. So I shadowed the men's program with David Johnson. I sat in on their classes. I sat in on one-on-ones. I participated in their community time, and I met a lot of the members and alumni. And my experience with BIB radically changed my perspective of people, specifically men who perpetrate crimes. It gave me the perspective that hurting people hurt people. And people who victimize others were victimized long before they ever committed crimes against someone else. And working with BIB also radically shifted my perspective and showed me that healing people heal people through the work of Christ. So I shadowed with the men's program for a few months, and then it was time for me to start prepping and interviewing the members of the LEAD program. And so I spent a couple weeks interviewing women and eventually selected 10 wonderful women to be in the first group for LEAD. And I could go on and on about how incredibly resilient and hardworking, passionate, and empathetic this group of women was and still is, but I won't go on and on. Just suffice it to say that they are one of the most amazing groups of women I've ever met in my life. So we started LEAD in person the first week of March in 2020, and we paused LEAD the second week in March of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And I still remember the day I had to go in to the women's facility and tell the women that we had to pause in person. It was one of the hardest days of my life, and I can't imagine how difficult it was for these 10 women who had been aching for an opportunity and been prepping for this for months. And so we just sat together and we prayed together that day and wept together for hours. And eventually it was time for me to say goodbye. And I said goodbye individually. And there was one woman in particular in the group. Her name is Tip. Tip and I looked at each other, and she just stared at me. And I remember thinking, what is she thinking? What is she going to say? And Tip broke into a smile and she said, I'm going to miss you, Maddie, but you'll be back. And that just little conversation was what I left the facility with that day, and has been one of the things that has carried me through these long months of not seeing the women. Tip's faith is incredible. It is so palpable when you meet her. And again, it has been one of the things that has helped sustain me, just thinking of that instance with her over the past few months. It is the biggest honor to, after so many months of not seeing Tip, be able to have her with us today and to introduce you to her. Her story is one. Hi, Tip. Hi. Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Hi. I was just saying, Tip, I was just saying that your story is one that deserves to be heard. You are an incredible human being. And oh my gosh, it is just so good to see you. Wow. Okay.
Thank you. Likewise. I so miss your face.
Oh,
So
Tip.
you.
Oh, I miss your face. I'm so happy to see you. How have you been?
I've been okay. Hanging in there.
Hanging in there?
It's been tough at times, but overall, God is good and He's carrying me through it.
Amen. Amen. Wow.
Wondering, how are you and how are you holding up?
You know, I'm hanging in there, and I will say the same as you. God is good and He is sustaining us through it. And this is just such an incredible opportunity we have to talk today. So I don't want to keep talking. I've had enough of that. So I'm going to give the floor to you, Tip, and I will hopefully see you soon. Okay.
Perfect. Maddie, thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
So happy to see you.
So good to see you, Tip. All right.
Thank
you got it, girl.
Everything.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
So I'm Tiplance Walker. I am a member of the first group here of LEAD at Topeka Correctional Facility. I am currently here serving a 155-month sentence. So a little bit of my backstory, and a story that I feel like is the majority of the stories of the women that are incarcerated here. It's a story of kind of a dysfunctional, confusing, kind of a painful upbringing and experience throughout life. A story that, we try to figure out how to accept those things that are happening in life and try to figure out different coping mechanisms to handle life. And 9 times out of 10, and for me personally, that coping mechanism ends up being something addictive. So addiction is the story of the majority and also my story. So, there's so many variations of addiction. There's a drug and alcohol addiction. There's money addiction, sex addiction, work addiction, food addiction, like a plethora of addictions. And it's such an insidious disease. It's something that's so overpowering, something that just dominates your life, so destructive, it's so deceptive. You feel like you've got all this control with it. I know I did personally. I thought I had things together. I did not accept the influence of others well. I felt like they were telling me something that I didn't need to know because I had it all together. False reality. So that led to isolation and just, just things that come along with addiction. So you've got that. I had that story. So I really landed up in a predicament where it was a gradual progression of denial and rock bottoms. And basically, I ended up waking up in jail, in county jail, being told that I was charged with killing my best friend. That was a rude awakening. Literally to wake up to charges of murder and to charges of allegations and telling me that I had just killed my best friend was devastating. Devastating, traumatizing. I was in shock for at least a year. You know, that I did not know where I was going to go from there. Completely lost hope. But I also realized with waking up that I had went wrong. And that was actually the wake up of my life that I needed. I had went wrong. I had went down the wrong path. I had completely checked out of life, and that I needed to check back into life, and that I needed to figure out where I went wrong in life, what brought me to where I was, how did I get there. And so that led me to the path that I'm on now, a path that included like utilizing resources, whatever magnitude those resources came. Like county jail's kind of limited, but they did have an AA program. I worked that program. I worked the 12 Steps program. I went to one-on-one minister visits. I attended different church ministry services. I completely gave my life to Christ. I had to really go deep within myself, because with giving my life to Christ, there's this thing that they call jailhouse religion that comes with that, with you trying to change and turn around your life and give your life to Christ. You've got all this back noise and distraction that goes on. You may convince yourself you're hypocritical. Others may say that you're hypocritical because now you want to turn around and change your life because you're in jail. So there was that I had to press through, because I knew that it was time for me to change. And I knew that it was time for me to grow. I was not getting any younger. I had destroyed lives. I had destroyed my life, others' lives, and it was just time for change. So it was just like game time. Here it is now for me to grow up. I'm 30 years old, and it's time for me to grow up. So there was a process of me attending church, fully giving my life to Christ. He is the only one that has restored me through this, along with the things in the ministries and the support of others in the community. I did some individual self-rehabilitation, which I'm still doing now. Once I got to prison, there's programs that are available to you, risk reduction programs, educational programs that I just completely dove into. There was programs like money management, small programs, but beneficial programs like active parenting, and programs like the Last Mile Coding, all those things that geared me towards a better life, a better career, a better future, a better mother, better stability, just an overall healed person with purpose. And so then came LEAD. So LEAD is something that gave me what I was doing on an individual basis, now a community. Community is a huge tool that you need for growth. I mean, this is something that you need out there in the world. This is something that 9 times out of 10, if you're in addiction, you run away from because you isolate. But an important tool to success is community. And so this program brought that community. It brought people like Maddie that is so full of life and so enthusiastic and unbiased about helping those who need a second chance, those that have fallen and need to be picked up, those that need hope of having a future and someone to kind of carry them through that. That is what LEAD provides to the women that are a part of it. That is what it has given me. It has given me an opportunity to develop myself. It has given me courage and confidence in myself. It has helped me to recognize my identity of truth, so that I can pursue the things that I'm destined and purpose to do in life, so that I can be beneficial to others in life, so that I don't have to do re-entry alone, because it'll be hard. It'll be hard coming from where I'm coming from the legalities of it and the things that I carry even after leaving here. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be doable, because I know that I have the support an organization that is completely there for you to carry you through that. I heard something I was watching on PBS, and I heard someone speak to when you are part of a community, it will, when you are doing right, you'll be kept right. And when you're doing wrong, you'll be set right. And so that is something that I feel like is something the LEAD program brings to this community here at TCF. It's amazing opportunities to grow, and it is something that is necessary for women here to become a part of. I've had many requests and wonderings about how to get involved in LEAD. So I know that there are women here that desire to be a part of the program in the future. And even with this pandemic, they have made ways to still remain in contact with us, still continue with the curriculum, still continue to build and grow us and help us to do that on our own and still collectively. It's just an amazing program. It's something that is priceless, something that is needed here, something that with the continued support of community and mentors and donations and resources that can be given to this facility will create such an amazing outcome, such an amazing ripple of hope, such an amazing production of growth and inclusiveness that all of the world needs, all of communities needs on both ends, a participant and mentors and volunteers that are a part of life, community, and just overall whole. And so I hope that this program continues. I'm really grateful and thankful for this program. It has given me a priceless experience that I will carry for the duration of my life. And I'm so grateful and so thankful for it.
So, everyone, as you can see from our last video, that every single person that was in that video is connected. Just like wherever you're sitting in your living room tonight, wherever you're at in the United States, we're together, we're connected. So, really quick, I would just like to talk to you about that connection, that connections to the people who need hope the most, the hopeless. Ripples of Hope is our theme, right? So I would just like to let you know that for me personally, without the people like yourselves coming into those environments, that we could tell that you guys didn't necessarily want to be there, but you know that you needed to be there. The decisions that you made and that others make to come inside of a place that nobody wants to be, to help the hopeless, to guide the broken, to help heal the men and women who need that healing. It's really something that I appreciate. Men all across this program are really grateful to people like yourselves who give of your time, resources, your prayers. To be honest with you, I really kind of feel like the prayers matter the most because you can never put a value on that. God hears that. But of course, there's other things, that we need. But what we need most is for you guys to stay connected to this program. For you to understand that we don't want to be left behind. And when you come in there and you invest in us, it means a lot, not only to us, but to the rest of society. You help create men and women who come out here and build things back up. You see, before we came to prison, all we did was take away, tear down, destroy. Not anymore. And do you know why? Because you decided to care for us, to love on us, make us feel like family, a community. That means a lot to people that don't come from much, who come from a place where nobody cares about them. You've been thrown away. I can tell you that I personally feel like I'm not trash. I haven't been thrown away. To have volunteers come in and spend their time with you. I remember about 5 years ago, when I was in class, there was a lady named Helga. Helga could barely make it through a class without crying. And there was a lot of guys that would joke and different things like that, but I can tell you that it extremely touched my heart and helped me to become more empathetic towards other people. If this woman could come inside a prison and shed tears with drug dealers, felons, violent offenders, share her story, give us a little bit and a piece of her life, then why couldn't I just open myself up to change? Why couldn't I open myself up to saying that I want to be a part of that ripple? I want to help lead in here inside of the walls to show people how we should conduct ourselves. How do we practice integrity? The class that Helga taught was something that I look forward to every single week because I knew that this woman cared about us. I knew that she was coming in there not to just go through the textbook. And there's countless others. Sitting inside of the auditorium with 50 plus men who desperately need to hear a message. It's so powerful that you will never understand it unless you were in those shoes or in that situation. We need you. Every single time you come inside of that place, you touch somebody's life. Every single word that you speak is impactful on a man's life. All the guidance that you give, the women in the women's facility, they hear you. Trust me. Later on is when it will manifest. Every dollar that you spare, it shows us that you care. It helps. It's a thing that allows us to continue to have the material that we need to be able to get to those places of real change. I don't know where I would be without this program. Kind of sounds a little cliche saying that, but to be honest with you, I never seen myself living past 25 years of age. I'm 41, 2 beautiful grandchildren, reconnecting with my kids, building strong foundations inside of my family and in the community. And that's all thanks to you. That's all thanks to our volunteers and countless individuals out there who decided to be a part of that ripple of hope. I want you to know that hope matters. It's the name of our next video segment, but I want you to know that that really matters. That's not just something that I'm saying. Hope matters. You help bring hope back into our lives. This program helps bring hope back into the men and women's lives who are involved in it. I hope you take something from this next video. Hope that something that has been shared with you tonight that you connect with. And enjoy this next video.
Hope matters.
Hope matters.
Hope matters.
Hope matters.
Hope matters.
Hope matters.
Hope matters. Hope matters. Hope matters.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough.
Hope matters.
I found hope through Brothers in Blue.
Brothers in Blue matters.
Every single lie that tells me I
Hope matters.
Brothers in Blue transformed my life.
Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low?
Brothers in Blue matters.
Your support brings hope.
Your support transforms lives.
Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know.
Hope matters because Brothers in Blue matters.
You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I'm yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Hope matters.
Brothers in Blue gave me hope.
Your support matters.
Your support makes a difference.
Brothers in Blue gave me hope.
Brothers in Blue, it gave me hope.
I found hope through Brothers in Blue.
So, right now, I'd just like to thank everybody for being with us tonight. This has been an experience for me. How's it been for you? Did your computer glitch up like I told you it would? Yeah, a couple times. Okay, that's fine, because all it was about tonight was connection. We connected. Each video had a connection piece. The ripples of hope. Hope matters. Danny Creed tied it all together with the tsunami. Great analogy. So here's what I'm going to do. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue a challenge. It's going to be more like a call to action. Because what we're looking for tonight, soldiers. Real soldiers who are ready to step up on the front line to help with this reentry cause. What I mean by that is you've heard the statistics. You've heard it. The recidivism rates. The difference between the state and our program. Okay, I'm not going to tout that or focus on that. What I want to let you know is that it's real. It's true. You don't want these men who got snatched away from society for good reason to come back the same way. I guarantee you that. What you do want is men that want to come back and stand up. Men that want to work hand in hand with you, being that soldier on the front line to say, we can make this work. We can fix this. It's called change. And if you look at the abundant Brothers in Blue members who are out in the world, alumni, you heard them, you seen them, they were speaking on the video. These guys haven't told you that that they don't have anything to do, that they're just sitting around their house playing video games. Every single one of them talk to you about the stuff that they're doing in the community, at their jobs, with their families. So my call to action tonight is, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you do it. All I'm asking you to do is do something. Join us. Come be a part of what we have going on and watch the ripple that you have on the environment, on the society, on men and women who are ready to come back. They need your help. We need your help. It doesn't matter the dollar amount as long as it's done out of love. So I'm calling you tonight to be that soldier that we need. Let us see you. Let me salute you, because that's what we need. We need us all working together. Listen, I just want to thank you guys tonight for letting me even just share my story, have a little bit of your time, come into your home, listen to you guys, snack. Look, one thing I can promise you is that everything or anything that you do won't be in vain. So don't think of it like that. Just know that it's going to make a difference. The hope that you give us, it matters. So pay attention, because our Fund a Need page is the place that you can go to right now. I want to let you know that the auction does close at 9 p.m., but the Fund a Need page, you can go there right now. You can go there in 5 minutes. We invite you. Come and support us. Come and love on us. Let us see you. Be the soldier that we need to see marching for this program. I was a little nervous doing this tonight. I won't lie. But now I feel like I'm amongst my family, the community that they talk about inside of our program. You're watching me, and I'm watching you right now. So what is it that you're going to do? You can volunteer, you can pray, you can donate. Whatever it is you decide to do, guaranteed that we appreciate it. BIBR, Brothers in Blue Reentry Program, LEAD in Topeka, Kansas. That's going to be the place that's going to push a bunch of men and women out into the world that you're going to love to walk hand in hand with, living life, creating mentors, going out there and creating leaders, building up leaders inside of the community. And guess where they came from? The bottom. Where society says that's where the bottom is. But you're helping to lift us up. Thank you tonight for being with us. Thank you for spending your time. Thank you for just getting comfortable and letting me just come into your home. Thank you for loving on us. You guys have a good night. Until next year's event, which we hope, we pray that it'll be in person. We understand what's going on right now. So even if it's not, trust me, we will be together again. Okay? Hey, I love you. We love you. Brothers in Blue loves you and appreciates you. Have a good night.